So we shall continue the trials. Yeah.
Makoto, you said you were attacked in your room by a masked assailant. If Mukuro had already been dead for several days, certainly it couldn't have been her.
Yeah.
So who was it that attacked you?
The headmaster. The mastermind, probably.
I got it! The one who attacked me was the true mastermind. When we discovered Mukuro in the garden wearing the same mask, I naturally assumed she must have been the one who attacked me. But I was wrong. It wasn't her at all. It was the mastermind.
What are you laughing at?
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just getting a little impatient sitting here listening. I think I'm gonna jump in. Let's start off with a nice, easy question. Your assumption that I attacked Makoto is just that, right? An assumption. You can't really know who was under that mask, can you? I mean, that's the whole point of a mask. The true identity of the masked attacker is Mukuro Ikusaba! At least, that's what I think. Do you have any evidence that might convince me otherwise?
No, there's no way Mukuro is the one that attacked me. Even if I didn't see their face. If you compare what we... Oh! They don't have the tattoo on their hand. If you compare what we know about Mukuro, the masked attacker, it should be obvious. Are we gonna have a candy? No, are we? Okay. Mukuro Ikusaba's profile, maybe again. Let me just check
You
what
never-
it says.
So you can't have any idea. I'm telling you now, it was Mukuro Ikusaba!
You're wrong. Even without seeing their face, there's another part of the attacker we can use to prove it wasn't her.
Oh? And what is this other part? Is it the right hand?
Who wouldn't be Makoto?
Shoot!
Okay.
You never saw their face, so you can't have any. I'm telling you now, it was Mukuro.
You're wrong. There's another part of the...
Oh? Is it the... or the left hand? Maybe the right foot. Or perhaps the left foot. Or could it be the hips? You never saw their face, right? So you can't have any... I'm telling you now, it was Mukuro Ikusaba!
You're wrong. Even without seeing their face, there's another part of the...
Oh? And is it the right hand? Or the left hand?
No, shoot, I don't know. Or I know, but that puzzle is a little bit complicated here.
You never...
So, let's see. No, not that. We need to activate.
So you can't have... I'm telling you now, it was Mukuro...
You're wrong. There's another part of the attack.
Oh? And what is this other... Is it the right hand? Or the left hand? Maybe the right foot. Or perhaps the left foot. Or could it be the hips? You never saw their face, so you can't have... I'm telling you now, it was Mukuro
Got it.
No, that's wrong.
Only on the
Mukuro had a tattoo on her right hand, if I remember correctly. a representation of Fenrir. In other words, a wolf tattoo. But I saw the right hand of the person who attacked me. And there was no such tattoo. So there's no way the person behind the mask was Mukuro.
Yeah, well, okay. You got me. I guess it wasn't her. But that still doesn't prove that it was me. It could have been, someone else, right?
Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I all have solid alibis for that entire night.
Yeah! We were in the gym tearing you apart, so it couldn't have been any of us.
Oh, okay, sure. It couldn't have been any of you. But what about Kyoko? It totally could have been her. Uh-oh! No snappy comeback? Did I score a bullseye?
No.
If you insist, I don't mind showing you.
Huh? Show me what?
What do you think? I'll show you the one thing that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it wasn't me.
Now, before anyone could say anything, she took off her gloves. Or a glove. Kyoko was removing her glove.
Your hands!
Without thinking, I let out a gasp. It was more than just a little burned skin.
Awful, isn't it? It happened when I was first learning to be a detective. I was inexperienced.
I thought you didn't want anyone to see those scars.
If it means we get another step closer to unmasking the mastermind, it doesn't really bother me.
Kyoko seemed to savor the words as she said them. Then she put her gloves back on.
My scars should suffice as proof.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Makoto, did the person who attacked you have scars like mine?
No,
No.
not at all. I'm positive.
Then this much has been made clear. There can be no doubt that the one who attacked Makoto is the true mastermind.
Yeah.
This is just awful! On top of my secret being revealed, I had to look at those positively grotesque scars of yours. Sorry, did I say that out loud? I do hope I didn't hurt your feelings.
Not at all. You can say whatever you want.
Sure,
Yeah.
as long as it means pushing me farther into the corner, right? But I'm not cornered just yet. Because if you haven't noticed, the circumstances surrounding Mukuro's death are totally unknown.
That's true. All we know right now is she was killed a good while before this morning.
On the contrary, we don't know anything other than that.
You're not going to tell us she was already dead before we arrived here or something, are you?
In that regard, you have nothing to worry about. I promise you, without a doubt, she died after our little killing game began here.
Then somehow she was killed in secret without any of us knowing.
It could have been something.
And after she died, who knows how much time went by before we found her, right? Did the culprit stash her somewhere? She couldn't have been in the garden the whole time, could she?
If she was, she would have been totally decomposed. Just like your brain.
Then she was being stored somewhere?
But to hide a body here, to just store it somewhere?
There's only one place. I can't think of anywhere else the body could have been stored.
I got it! Mukuro's body was probably kept hidden in the biolab.
The biolab? You mean on the 5th floor?
That's right. It's actually set up for use as a morgue. So it's the perfect place to hide a body. And it'd keep the body preserved at the same time.
Then you're also saying the body was moved from the biolab to the garden.
And I have no doubt that that's exactly what happened. In fact, I have proof.
The proof that shows that the body was carried from the biolab to the garden. The tarp.
I got it! What makes me so sure the body was carried from the biolab to the garden is the tarp that we found in the garden. When I was checking it over again, I noticed something. I noticed that some text had been stamped on one corner of the tarp.
Oh, it says Biolab.
Holy cow! How'd you notice that tiny little thing?
Makoto's nitpicky nature seems to have surfaced with perfect timing.
This proves that the tarp originally came from the biolab. In fact, there's a whole stack of tarps just like it in there.
So when the killer moved the body to the garden, they must have grabbed a tarp to wrap it in. Then they simply left it as it was to protect against the sprinklers, and put the coat on it afterwards.
Wow, you made everything sound so amazingly consistent.
But that's just a wild guess. Where's your evidence? Prove that the body was wrapped in a tarp and moved.
There is no evidence. I was simply explaining what I think happened. But you seem to be getting pretty worked up about it, wouldn't you say?
Worked up?
Now that the conversation has turned to the topic of the biolab, you must be getting pretty nervous. Because the key to uncovering your secret identity is hidden within that room, isn't it?
Are you talking about unmasking the mastermind?
That's true. We can go through all
You
the
see,
bodies.
the biolab contained an inconsistency. One so major it can't be overlooked.
Yeah, one body was missing. There's only 9 dead.
La la la, I can't hear you. La 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 la.
Such a child. Oh well, just ignore him.
I need to pull myself together and think. The inconsistency in the biolab. Could you?
Hey, by the way, Makoto, what about that one thing?
What?
What do you think? I'm talking about your family.
What?
Don't tell me you forgot about that video message. So what do you think? Are you sure your family's still okay?
Why are you bringing that up now?
Your mom, your dad, your little sister. What do you think has happened to your family? Are they really as safe as you might have assumed?
Stop talking about that!
Calm down, Makoto. He wants you to get upset.
Yeah, I need to calm down. I can't let him get to me. He's just saying that because he knows we're getting close to the truth of the biolab. So if I want to shut him up, I need to expose the inconsistency and slap him with it. The moment of truth. Oh!
Are you sure about this? Are you sure about this? What? What do you want? Are you sure about this? Proof! 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 Are you sure about this? Are you sure about this? Are you sure about this? What? What do you want? Are you sure about this? Are you sure about this? Proof! 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 Are you sure about this? Are you sure about this? What? What do you want? Are you sure about this? Proof! 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 Are you sure about this? I'm not listening!
This should prove it.
Got it! On the first one as well. That's pretty good.
The inconsistency Kyoko's talking about is... the lights!
What are you talking about? What about the lights?
Like I said before, the biolab also acts as a morgue. And as part of that, a giant refrigerator was installed in there. That's where everyone who's died is stored.
And it was set up so that when a slot had a body in it, a blue light would turn on.
In other words, if the blue light is on, that means there's a body in that slot.
But I counted up the number of blue lights that were on, including the one Mukuro was in, and there were only 9.
Why does that matter? You gotta give me the bite-sized version here, man.
The 9 lights doesn't make sense. The number of lights should be there.
I got it! 10 of the lights should have been on. Any other number is incredibly suspicious.
Suspicious? Why?
That's simple. Just recall who's died here so far, and it should become clear.
That's right. That's the key to solving this mystery. Psycho died first. Junko was second. Leon was third. Chihiro was fourth. Mondo was fifth. Taka was sixth, then Hifumi seventh. Celeste was eighth. Sakura was ninth. And the victim number 10 was Mukuro.
So 10 people in all?
That's right. Any other number should make you immediately suspicious.
Yeah.
But according to the lights in the biolab, only 9 people were being stored there.
You're saying a dead body just up and disappeared?
I got it! The mastermind destroyed one of the bodies to get rid of evidence.
But if they wanted to do that, they would have destroyed Mukuro's body, since they actually killed her. And yet, her body was left alone.
Then, whose body disappeared?
It may very well be that none of them disappeared.
But if that's true, then why doesn't the body count match?
Including Monokuma's executions, there have apparently been 10 deaths, but there were only 9 bodies. That's the point I'm trying to make.
I'm completely lost. How can the number of victims be less than the number of murders?
The reason that there are less bodies than murders. The explanation for more murders than victims. Why is that? What would make it for that to make sense? Only 9 murders take place. No?
Shoot!
What is the explanation? Mastermind destroyed a body? The same person was killed twice.
I got it! What about if the same person was killed twice?
Huh? Killed twice?
Officially, 10 murders have been committed so far, but one of the victims may have been murdered, and then murdered again.
Murdered and murdered again?
If that's the case, there could have been 10 killings, but still only 9 victims, right?
Technically, you're right, I guess. But still, something like that.
Could easily have happened. No, it is what happened.
Sounds like you're already convinced. Then can you tell us who was killed twice?
It was Mukuro, of course. Before she was killed as Mukuro Ikusaba, she was killed as someone else.
Okay.
And that's why the body had to be stored in the biolab until the moment we found it in the garden.
No, that's crazy talk. She was killed as someone else? Come on! Besides, who could that someone else even have been?
All you have to do is look at those bodily injuries of hers, and that will become obvious.
Nothing's gonna become obvious! Because Kyoko's totally delusional!
I mean, the only one who was kind of weird was Junko. So, don't know.
Who is this someone else that Mukuro was killed as? Was it Sayaka Maizono? Junko Enoshima? Leon Kuwata? Chihiro Fujisaki? Mondo Owada? Kiyotaka Hifumi Yamada? Celestia Lu... whatever? Or maybe... Sakura Ogami? No. There's no way anyone was murdered twice! Who is this someone else that Mukuro was killed? Was it Sayaka, Junko, and Oshima?
Well,
Shoot!
Who is this was it
Sayaka, Junko, and Leon, Chihiro, Mondo, Owada, Kiyotaka, Ishimara, Hifumi, Yamada, Celestia, Lu, whatever, or maybe Sakura Ogam. No. There's no way anyone was murdered twice.
Who is this someone?
Was it
Sayaka?
Junko and Oshima?
oh, it was
No,
Junko.
that's wrong.
Really? Holy shit! How did I figure that out?
Junko!
Surprising.
Wasn't her fatal injury pretty similar to Mukuro's?
What do you mean?
Well, remember what happened to her? She was impaled by a bunch of spears, all over her body.
And Mukuro died from a number of wounds across her body. When you compare that to the stab wounds Junko suffered,
Then the similarities match?
Yes, and those are the only fatal injuries that match up.
Now, I am good again, got the episode short. So, I thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the future. Have a great day and stay awesome. Ganmu out.